What is good, YouTube? A different type of reaction today. Gary Vee, again, like I said, I'm just trying to spread positivity about doing the things that I love with the people who also love it. So rap, obviously, freestyling, basketball. I've mentioned that a few times. If you look back in my YouTube channel, I have a bunch of basketball videos. And man, Gary Vee is big time. Big time. A lot of what I do, if I am able to do my own thing, run my own little company, have clients, and do everything I do with social media and digital marketing and consulting, a lot of it's because Gary Vee is putting out his shit, putting out the positivity, putting out the how-tos, putting out everything that he's doing. So he just dropped this how to build the tallest building original film today, and I'm gonna watch it. And I was like, you know what? I'm reacting to a bunch of these videos anyway, or a bunch of just random YouTube videos. So I'm gonna react to this too. Why not? If anyone, also I would just want to put people onto Gary Vee. Like, come on. If you don't know who he is, if you're not following him, like maybe not everything he puts out is for you. He's a little high energy, but he's just positive vibes. He's all about freestyle and speeches. Like freestyling is just talking and delivering a message off top. And it's when you have your thoughts in your own mind that you can go off top, whether it's talking or freestyling. If you don't have the musicality, it's just giving speeches off the top. And that's what he does. He doesn't plan or anything. Planning is procrastination, is one thing that I have kind of been telling myself a lot. And I genuinely believe that. I can go into that later because I know there's a lot of pushback on that when I tell people that I genuinely believe that planning is procrastination. But it's similar to just Gary Vee's message and like how to build the tallest building. This is the one thought that I had before even finding out about Gary Vee because of being in Turkish culture and judgment and whatever. Building the tallest building or tearing the tallest building down so yours is the tallest is the two ways to get to the top. And it doesn't make any sense for me to not just go out and focus on my own building and build that. And I love this title. I haven't seen this video yet, but I can just know where he's going with it. Like, who cares what other people are doing? Why are you tearing someone else down? There's abundance. Everyone can get theirs. Anyway, let's read some comments as we do. I'm getting passionate about the topics right now. Yusuf Karbat, he's God. This is hands down the best part yet for Gorilla Reaction 15 is where this comments and all these comments are coming from. Amaduddin Ahmed, he was literally waiting for your reaction. I appreciate y'all. Matthew Harrison, hopefully the focus on double time doesn't suppress his storytelling or lyrical development. The story time versus lyrical or double time, story time versus double time dilemma, always, even in written raps, is a question in my head. I generally prefer the slower flows, the riding the beats, instead of the double time. But double time does have that effect, and I think using them both intertwined gives a better message, connects with people. It gives a different vibe to it. Variety things. It sucks the series has ended. No more footage during quarantine. Nice reaction as always. I really appreciate that the series has ended, but freestyling, if you can freestyle records, if you can freestyle albums, if you could freestyle just shit that people want to listen to, you have unlimited sources of content, and I'm sure we'll start seeing that. But the GB compilation, best of GB, best of Gorilla Bars, is coming. Anyway, Gary Vee, let's get to it. How to build the tallest building.
There was a great thing that somebody said to me years ago, and I say it all the time. There's two ways to build the biggest building in town. You either just build the biggest building in town, or you spend all your time tearing everybody else's building down. And if there's anything on my last breath that I'm most proud of, is I'm out here just trying to build the biggest building.
And showing people how to build theirs. He's building the biggest building and showing people how to build theirs. Honestly, biggest is relative anyway. For me, it's like, how am I gonna build the most dope building that I'm trying to live in? Like, I don't need it to be the biggest. I need it to be mine though, fully mine.
It would be the best if all 8 billion people had this mindset. You wouldn't have a single bad thing happen in society. If you actually cared about everybody else and didn't impose your own hurt on someone else.
So where do we start? Because you would say parents maybe?
Yeah, I think you start with even the conversation. We start with this fucking film.
Start with the film. Gary Vee original. Man, see, the tools people have at their disposal at this point to make just high ass quality films right now. It's not just Gary Vee, it's YouTubers in general. It's like the days are over where you need a whole production studio and editing and the softwares and the computers that like people didn't even have access to.
I think about succeeding in one very simple story. There are two ways, my friends, to build the biggest building in town. Step number one, just build the biggest building in town. Step number two, build a decent sized building and then spend all your time trying to tear down everybody else's building around you down so you end up being the biggest building in town. My friend, 95% of people try to do number two. People that tear everyone else's building down are hurting inside and want other people to feel pain. Misery loves company.
It's because jealousy. It's because people want someone else's thing. If you just wanted your own thing, you wouldn't want to tear someone else's down. Like tearing someone else down is just wanting what they have. So you take it or try to take it or try to make them have less so you have more. Instead of just focusing on what you got and developing that on your own with the people that are fucking with it. Like that's... Yeah.
And are so insecure that they actually think that $1 or that opportunity is like only available. They don't live in a world of abundance. I do think some people think like the rise of a population, like if Black lives matter more, that means my life matters less. And I think that's super wrong. That's why people are replying saying all lives matter. They don't get it. They think it's like a competition or there's space that Black lives are taking up. People hear Black privilege, and I've been watching how people have been acting, they think that comes at the cost of somebody who's white or Asian. That's crazy. This is not a black, white, girl, boy issue. This is a positive, negative issue.
100%. It's a elitist versus like haves versus have not issue too. It's a power structure issue. It's so many different things. But when you say Black Lives Matter, it's because they haven't been mattering. It's not because you want the others to not matter or you think that Black Lives matter more. It's that systematically they haven't been mattering. Like what do you want? Do you want Black Lives Matter too? Does that make it better? Like these people that get caught up in the semantics clearly don't know what's actually going on and don't want to find out.
It's fucking stupid. Of course your life matters too. How do you not understand that you should only be as happy as your most unhappy fellow human? That level of compassion, sympathy, empathy is fucking required for your own happiness. How in the world?
That's interesting. Be as happy as your fellow unhappy human. So that could lead down a super depressing route, because when you go human, when you go global, there are people in extremely unfortunate environments, whether it be war-torn countries, whether it be just underdeveloped, whether it be, it's not even underdeveloped, it's about like just not having food and shelter. Like these issues exist in a lot of parts of the world, and happiness is secondary to survival in some places. So that's a little like, I think I get what he's trying to say. We need to be empathetic and compassionate to everyone in the world, and have everyone has their own situations, and we should want to help. And I know he does a bunch to help. I'm not saying like I don't necessarily fully agree with that thing. I'm just saying it's that level of blanket statement gets people a little bit like, all right, like come on, instead of having the objective kind of conversation about what that actually means versus the practical application of it, because then you're just gonna be miserable, because you're not gonna at the snap of a finger help everyone be happy, but you can do your part to make the people who are listening to you get there. And if you can use the tools available through social media and technology, and it's not even social media, it's just communication platforms, communication infrastructure, to get the most amount of people to listen to you, to then now chip away to help them get to a better mindset, I think that's what he's more talking about.
Does anybody translate Black Lives Matter in their head as, no, but my life matters too? Yes. But like, that's why this is on my mind, because when you see things happen socially, it translates in my brain business-wise. These are the same people that think when somebody else's store opens up they're gonna lose. See, I think the problem is so many people want to win at somebody else's expense.
Once you start worrying about the store across the street that just opened, is the moment you lost. Is the moment you are now not focused on your own. If you spent the energy focusing on making your own better, you might not lose any business. If you focus on why they're getting more business, now they have your attention too. Not only do they have the new vibe energy of the people that you're losing, customers that you're losing, or whatever you are losing in your mind, because you're not losing anything, you're letting yourself lose your focus in that situation. And that shit happens so much. I see it so much. And he has way more examples around him. This is just my own perspective on this.
Without understanding that there's so many variations of winning, and every one of us has a totally different definition for it. And when my homie Travis from Uber, and when my homie Chris Sacca becomes the best VC and goes on Shark Tank and they beat me, I'm the most pumped for them. They deserve it. And then I say, but it's not over yet. And that's who I am.
Why do some people get mad?
Because they're sad, because they're selfish. They care about themselves. But the question is, why do they care about themselves? They care about themselves because they're insecure, and it's a protective mechanism. Most people that come along that have a lot of talent to amass attention and resources and wealth and power, a solid amount of them lack humility and like altruism, but I think a lot of people were also lucky in having kindness and capability in them. They just weren't watching something that made them think that was the thing to do.
It's because society is so built on just money and things instead of right mindset. Imagine if you wanted the right mindset more than you wanted a better salary. And that's tough, because now you're like, all right, but what about like I'm poor as hell. I'm living in I was born in the ghetto, or I was born in tough environments, and I don't have money, and I don't this that, and I 100%. There are levels at which you start. Like some people, like myself, I'm extremely privileged. I was born in Chicago suburbs, lived in a nice house, no college debt, whatever. I understand that I'm lucky as fuck, but there are hundreds, thousands, if not millions of success stories of people coming from way worse situations than any situation that you might have even faced. And now if you tell me that there isn't anyone who has made it from a situation that is worse than mine, one, I suggest maybe doing a bit more research if that's going to motivate you, or try to be the first. I just don't see the alternative to be a more productive or more viable route. And I'm trying to be extremely, nuanced in how I'm trying to say these, as to not offend anyone, but I think you're getting what I'm saying.
That's what this is all about, right? Like, this is all about, like, I'm not that special. There's actually millions of people in the last 100 years that had what I had. It's just they grew up in societies and messaging that made them think differently. I think that Steve Jobs came along, became an icon, but the sad part of that narrative was he did not treat his employees well. He became an icon, and the narrative became he got the most out of people by being a jerk, and that became romanticized. I could literally watch people that I knew who used to be nicer start treating employees like jerks, because that's what Steve Jobs did. And
you can motivate through fear or love. And then what is that motivation? Like, fear to do what? Fear that you're not gonna make the money? Like, I might fire you so you might not make the money. Again, it comes back to the money, because when you're fearful or when you're in a bad environment that a manager or CEO or whatever is treating you bad, now you're scared of losing a job to lose the money that comes with it and the security, which yeah, that's a huge problem in the way society's built. If you don't have a job, you're going to struggle. But you can also motivate through love. And with that, now you are tying in, like, if you like someone, if you love someone, you're going to work harder to make them happy. And you're going to feel good about it. It's coming from a positive source of energy, which now you're not worried about the job or whatever, because you're trying to do what's right for your friend or for the person that you like. And now everything's from a positive source instead of from a negative, oppressing source, which causes less stress, which increases productivity, which alleviates all the problems anyway.
And a lot of people in Silicon Valley today run companies where they're mean because they think that's the right thing to do because they put Steve Jobs on a pedestal. I want my pedestal moment. I want to become that big. And what I want to come from that is that kids that aren't even born today think that they can build a $5 billion company and be a great guy or a great gal. And what I want to do is inspire two 14-year-old girls in Kansas City right now to build a $1 billion company on having a bunch of employees hugging each other in the halls. I feel this crazy, weird sense of responsibility that
See, even the $1 billion company stuff is like, I think he's more trying to say like successful and be nice. So because when you build a $1 billion company, you're providing for so many, not just your employees, but for everyone who's now a consumer or a customer or whatever, a client. And then those people's, the clients, customers and whatever. So now when you're layering in everything through the positivity, it does scale.
I was given all this talent and capability, and I'm like, okay, I need to communicate like how I do it, because I do think I do it with a more empathetic, sympathetic, compassionate, human, good intent. And like, I'd be lying if you ask me point blank, do I feel like I've already moved the collective entrepreneurial world a little bit, a hair towards it? I do, because I've just had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of entrepreneurs reach out to me and say, I'm a better person because of this or that. And I think the more successful I am, the more people will try to parrot that behavior. So I think positivity and good is practical advice to building an empire. And I want to be the poster child of the person that built the biggest, baddest empire and did it by being a good dude along the way. And that's the legacy I want to leave. Let me make it perfectly clear to you. The world is abundant. Nobody else is taking out of your pocket. Everybody who's watching this film right now, if you're good enough, nothing's gonna stop you.
100%. Who's playing? Whose music is
Would
this?
you run from me, yeah. You could just run to me, yeah. The feeling's electric. The feeling's electric.
All right. And Gary Vee, the way he phrases things and thoughts gets me into a zone where I can speak a lot of my truths, a lot of my thoughts in a way that's like kind of back and forth. And yeah, I'm glad I'm doing these reactions to these videos too. Honestly, I like doing it. It stimulates my thoughts. If you guys like it, let me know. And I'm gonna start doing more shit like this again. Anything that I mess with, anything that I enjoy. I'm just trying to spread the vibes, the positivity, the energy that everyone can do it. I mean, everyone can do what they need. It's just what are the steps to get where you want to go, and what are the resources you need to take those steps. But yeah. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. I like this little clip. I'm probably going to start doing more Gary Vee stuff. This was fun for me. Hopefully it was fun for you. Peace.